Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music. Any old way you choose it. It's got a black beat, you can't lose it. Any old time you use it. It's gotta be rock and roll music if you wanna dance with me.
The excitement was great, and it was the time I had 3 or 4 number one hits in the 60s. 63 was really the beginning, and same with Brendan Boyer and that, and Joe Dolan. And though the Brendan Boyer was there from 1958, so he was big well before I remember going to see Brendan Boyer in Dublin in the Cushion Ballroom, and the place was packed out, and the Royal Showband, and I said to myself, will I ever be like that?
And the rest is history.
The crack starts here. Are you ready?
Nowadays, ballrooms like the National in Dublin are struggling to survive. Under existing legislation, they're allowed 6 licences a year. The public demand for the availability of alcohol is reflected in the huge crowd attendance at ballrooms when these licences are in operation. When there isn't a bar, business is bleak. Bands like Pastimes opt more and more to play in fully licensed hotels and clubs with late-night bar extensions. Unless there's a change in the present laws, it looks like ballroom days in Ireland are numbered.
These ballrooms that are left, that are actually in business, they should get the licence, because only by getting the licence can they then reinvest money into their properties to bring it up to standard. And they do need to be brought up to the standard of a nightclub in a hotel or a club, you know. Put in nice lights, nice seating for them. People need comfort nowadays. They won't accept just a big chamber of a ballroom and 4 walls, cold, miserable, bad toilet facilities. They want the best. They've got used to the best. But I think the ballrooms have to get the licence to enable them to reinvest the money.
Speaking of putting money back into the ballrooms, if I can move to you, PJ. You're a ballroom proprietor. You had ballrooms in their heyday and you made a lot of money. But did that money go back into refurbishing those same ballrooms in those days?
Well, yes, I think in my case a lot of it did. But obviously we could have done a bit more. But I don't think that, you see, when the business started to drop, I don't think there was much we could do without a licence.
The people will go to a hotel or go to a club and drink there. So it's no harm them having a licence in it.
But Dickie, isn't it a pity that we would lose a great industry which could be revived for a small change in the law?
I don't think it can ever be revived to the way it was.
Well, it could be, provided that if we got the licences, we could revive it by spending the money on the premises.
Definitely.
Making them comfortable, reducing the size, making them comfortable, and we would create a lot of employment.
But by the time you do that, would you not be essentially creating a nightclub structure?
Well, you know, we would have to develop our premises. We would have to spend money. And I wouldn't worry too much
whether it's called a nightclub or a ballroom.
That's right. I would prefer to call it a nightclub, but I think there is a market out there for live bands.
Well, it's happening in America. It's happening everywhere. Live bands.
Look at Wexford, Dickie, where I come from.
Yes.
Look at Wexford. You have Cry Before Dawn. You have all these bands coming up.
Yes.
And it's sad to see them. It was great years ago. You had, as soon as you wanted a relief band, all you had to do was phone around someone locally and you got one.
The Ballroom Proprietors Association are asking the government for 2 licences a week, and they stress that any ballroom owner selling alcohol to underage drinkers will have his licence endorsed.
There's nobody more than I who detest alcoholism.
Me too. I
don't mind anybody having a drink. Anybody can have a drink and enjoy the drink. My father, I don't care who has a drink. It's enjoyable. But I don't think because you get 2 licences a week in a club or in a ballroom, as we call them now, is going to affect it enormously. Well supervised, you know, like the PJ in one of his places, he'd have it well supervised, as he always has. And if young people don't go drink there, if they want to drink, they'll drink somewhere else.
If I could once again come back on this point, if we got 2 extensions a week, it would.
That's not asking a lot.
That's not asking a lot. Or alternatively, if he would make it easier for us to buy the existent dormant licences that are around the country. I mean, I think that's perhaps the...
I mean, you're not even asking for a full-time licence for the whole week.
No, we're not.
Asking for 2 licences a week.
That's right.
Strangers in the night, lonely people, we were strangers. find so